Hello, everyone. Welcome back to biology. So today we're going to be talking about cell biology. Welcome to my home. I got my UCLA shirt. My wife and dog are here enjoying their day. That's my wife, Sarah. And there's Mile taking a nap. He thinks he's a cat, so he's taking a cat nap. I got my UCLA shirt, got my coffee, and we're ready to go. So congratulations for students at AP Bio, and welcome for any bio students who are just enjoying the channel and learning a little bit more about biology. This is going to be focused on the AP level, but there's things for everyone to learn. So today we're going to be introducing cell biology. And the quote I want you to think about for this topic is familiarity is the foe of fluency. And that's something to think about. So maybe you can put in the comments what you think that means. So the reason why we're talking about this with cell biology is it's something that you're all familiar with. Many of you did the model of a cell in middle school. That's what I used to do when I taught middle school science. And then you hit it again in ninth grade when you talk more about cell biology. And then we come back and we talk about it again for AP Bio. So does that mean that we know everything we need to know? Absolutely not. There's a lot that we're going to have to learn. So let's jump in to talking about the details of cell biology and how it pertains to the AP test. So as we think about AP biology, really going deep with the concepts of cell biology, there's a few things we want to know. So in earlier levels of biology, we rely on catchy analogies. So we think about cells as a city. Some of you might be familiar with the show on the anime about cells and all the different parts of the cell. Great way to learn. But at some point, you have to get down and, like Nacho Libre, get into the nitty gritty and understand what's actually going on. You need to know more than just the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Like, what does that actually mean? How is it making power? I mean, it's not really a powerhouse. It's not making electricity. So what does that actually mean? So that's what I mean. And this is actually difficult topics. We need to be fluent. We can't just like memorize the mitochondria's powerhouse of the cell. To really get beyond that, students need to go beyond that level one understanding and go into where they could actually draw it, where they could actually describe it, where they could actually quiz other students on all the different aspects of the mitochondria, how it performs its functions, and how that's related to its structure. Just a quick example, because we're talking about the mitochondria, you need to know, why does it have all the folds? Why does it have that unique shape? How does that help it be the powerhouse? What does it mean it's the powerhouse? You need to be able to describe all these things and quiz each other. That's one of the greatest difficulties is as you develop as students of science and students of biology, you need to be able to explain structure and function, not just memorize facts. And that's what we're going to be doing throughout the next couple weeks. So that's a big picture. Let me show you what else we're going to be learning about cells in this unit. So generally, I divide this unit into 3 sections. First, we talk about the structure and functions of all the components of cells. Specifically, in this section, we focus mostly on the organelles of the cells and the most common organelles that you need to know in order to just have introductory knowledge of biology. So we're definitely going to talk about the mitochondria because all cells need energy. So how does the mitochondria work and how is it provide the cellular chemical energy for the cell? But we're not going to stop there. We're going to talk about the ribosome. We're going to talk about the ER. We're going to talk about the Golgi. We're going to talk about lysosomes, all the different parts of a cell. We need to understand their structure and function. Even though that's just 2 topics, we're going to spend a whole week on that because it's essential to have that understanding. And again, to not just be familiar with it, to actually be fluent in it. When I was learning Spanish, I had heard a lot of words being from San Diego, but I needed to practice speaking Spanish regularly in order to increase my fluency. I couldn't just be familiar with it, I needed to practice it. In the same way, we need to be fluent in the different structures of the cell to be able to talk about them easily with each other in verbal form and also in written form. Then we're going to talk about, I spend a lot of time talking about the cell membrane because this is what makes the cell a cell. The cell is divided by the outside and it manages its inputs and outputs. Hopefully you know the word for that. And it's one of the characteristics of life. So if you know that, make sure you quiz yourself. What makes a cell alive and how does it maintain its internal environment? There's a big word for that that starts with an H that we'll be talking about a lot. And then lastly, we'll talk about cell compartmentalization by comparing bacteria, something that doesn't have organelles, with something like a eukaryotic cell, like a human cell or plant cell that's compartmentalized, and how that has given plants and animals advantages and why there's still bacteria today. So what's the niche of both basically? Cells that are compartmentalized and cells that aren't compartmentalized. So we're going to go in detail here. We're not just going to talk about general human cells. We're going to get into plant cells. We're going to talk about bacteria, which is a topic that's often ignored in earlier studies of cell biology. And that's where we're going. So generally, for pacing purposes, I take a good amount of time on this chapter because the more time we really understand cell biology, the better off you'll be going forward. And again, I don't want you to just be familiar and move on. I want us to be fluent so that we can reference these things throughout the course. Okay, that's our quick introduction. A couple just common mistakes to avoid is number one, again, just thinking that you already know about the mitochondria, you already know about the membrane because you have some facts knowledge about them. You want to really understand and be able to describe the structure and function of all the different cells. You should be able to draw it, describe it, talk about it in class, write about it in FRQs. If you can do that, you're ready to go. So that's our big picture. Just wanted to provide a quick introduction to where we're going. Good luck learning, everyone. And I look forward to getting into this unit with you in the coming 4 weeks. Have a good day.